but the Spurs made Ant give up in the middle of the game.
Anthony Edwards made his way to the San Antonio bench and dapped up players, coaches, one by one.
And things got completely out of hand in Cleveland.
It is getting treacherous as Merrill hits the deck.
So we got a start in Minnesota, where the Wolves were hoping to protect their home court and force a Game 7, but Stephon Castle came out bursting with energy.
Chris Finch wanted. He wanted them to go at the rim. He doesn't want a lot of the floaters.
Castle nails it from long range. And
The runners and the floaters.
oh, Castle in the sky. He was himself again, loud, boisterous. Castle!
I don't know what was on their scouting report, but the Wolves were very lackadaisical on the defensive end at the start of the game, and Castle used that to pour in 14 first quarter points on almost perfect 5 of 6 shooting from the field. Once the home team woke up, they were already trailing by double digits, so at the end of the first, Naz Reid only managed to narrow the gap to 9 points.
Winding down here in the first. Reid, the back end against the grain with the left hand.
But no one in the arena was ready for what was about to unfold at the start of the second period, because
McDaniel's trying to keep it alive. Dug out of there by Fox. Lead feed. Wemby, too easy. The French flush and the foul.
Mid-range jumpers, runners, floaters have not worked.
Ridiculous angle. Wemby and Castle finishes off the setup by Castle. Bryant missed it. Offensive rebound. Castle muscles it in. And the foul.
Wemby and Castle ignited another electric stretch for the Spurs, building a 19-point lead just 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. But the best thing was, they were just heating up.
Harper drive and kick. Wembanyama extra. The cell. Got a three. Up ahead. Lob it. Bryant can fly. Hammer jam. Wembanyama running the floor. The cell can't hit the three. Wemby, no look to Harper. Harper underneath goes to work on the inside.
Wemby and Harper stayed with it to cap off an incredible 20-0 run for San Antonio. They kept the Wolves scoreless for an entire 5-minute stretch, forcing them to miss 12 straight shots. So the Spurs' lead in the middle of the second was a massive 29 points. Regardless, Edwards and Terrence Shannon Jr. weren't ready to give up on their season just yet, so they started chipping away at the deficit little by little.
58-35 Spurs. Shannon forcing the action, and he floats it in.
And make him kick the ball out.
Taking it to the rim, Shannon is...
The second-year electric backup to Ant scored 11 of his 21 points in the period, and his mentor was even better.
Edwards using the Conley screen, turns the corner, and soaring to the rim for two. You coached that, Stan?
I tried.
Edwards takes the runway and lands the play. McDaniel's leading the break, right down the middle. Kick out. Edwards got a three. The Ant-Man with a downtown connection.
Here we go. The whole crowd jumps off their seats because the Wolves are suddenly trailing by only 13 points. Edwards led the charge with 12 of his 24 points to infuse some much-needed hope in his team before the break. However, they needed to keep their foot on the gas at all times moving forward, because any little mistake would mean staring at a 20-point deficit all over again.
Shannon was good in the first half. This guy can attack the basket as he does there.
Gobert denied by Wembanyama.
Because Victor Wembanyama looks at the rim.
And Wembanyama puts it in with the left hand.
Wemby outplays Gobert on both ends of the floor to bump their lead up to 18 points. Shannon Jr. and Jaden McDaniels this time tried to keep the Wolves within striking distance, but when they needed their leader the most, he vanished.
Is running. Edwards, hard drive, couldn't finish it. Cornette there defensively. 28 points, and that ball well out of bounds.
The Ant-Man looked more like an ordinary Ant compared to San Antonio's Wasps in the third. He scored just 1 bucket out of 7 tries, so Fox and Castle used that to announce the beginning of the end.
San Antonio's the team with less experience. They've been the more poised team.
Harper, give it up for Fox. Contact. Fox left alone, and Fox hits. got him on a three.
And my daughter Allie and her husband who are season ticket holders.
Well, thank you for updating us on your schedule.
Castle was the main guy for the Spurs last night, getting everything he wanted all game long. 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists on 69% efficiency on the road for the sophomore. Man, the future is bright for this team. Up by 26 heading into the fourth, it was time for the finishing touches.
The veteran, Harrison Barnes, and he strokes a three. Champagny, give it up. Wemby throw it down. San Antonio continues to apply pressure. Barnes, extra. Champagny, book it, a three.
Yeah, this thing got completely out of hand in the final frame. So down by 33 with 8 minutes still left to play, Edwards did something we don't see very often.
But Anthony Edwards, knowing that Chris Finch is going to empty the bench, made his way to the San Antonio bench and dapped up players, coaches, one by one.
I want to know what, all I want to know is I want to hear Udonis Haslem comment on that in the post-game show.
Yeah.
I would much rather see him wait till the end of the game.
The OGs might say that you cannot raise the white flag with 8 minutes still remaining, but this was so obvious. The Spurs were the better team from top to bottom, and I respect Ant for recognizing the game.
Just tip my hat to them. It was just a better team.
Wemby and the Spurs fulfilled the wish for every NBA fan, as we're going to see them head-to-head with OKC in the West Finals. And after beating them 4 out of 5 times this season, I think they're more than ready to take on the challenge. On the contrary, I didn't think that Kate and the Pistons were ready to face elimination on the road against the Cavs, but they proved me wrong at the start.
Cleveland Cavaliers defense is not set.
Sasser to Reid. And that was over Mobley. Cleveland -7. Cunningham dancing. Merrill is there.
He too
There's
little.
nothing,
He too little.
absolutely nothing you can do about that.
The Cavaliers have 10 turnovers. Sasser, 3, rebound. Another offensive rebound. Collected by Reid, 3, Cunningham, good.
After an evenly matched first quarter, the Pistons really turned up the pace, going on a 12-2 run at the start of the second to build a double-digit lead. They were physical as always, and at times even stepped over the line.
It's Mobley on top. Reid is there. It is getting treacherous as Merrill hits the deck. 8:04 second quarter.
Ausar didn't like Merrill holding his hand, so he shoved him to the ground and stepped over him. He was lucky to receive only a flagrant one for that, but when the action resumed, Thompson got into another scuffle. It's like he was asking to be thrown out.
The booze showering down. And a violation on the dribble. And some words.
Ausar Thompson has to leave it alone and get back. Right now, Cleveland is trying to do everything they can to get back in this game.
I've seen players getting ejected for way less than that, but it's the playoffs and I'm all for letting them talk some trash and bring on the heat. Anyway, the Cavs weren't gonna be pushed around at their home floor, so they responded like they're supposed to.
It's a 3 by Merrill. 16 points. Stolen. Mitchell. He'll come in hot and high. It's Mitchell. Carving. Feeding. Strus 3.
Max Strus caps off a 14-5 run by Cleveland to make it a 3-point game, and they made sure to stay that way heading into the locker rooms.
Laporte. Knocked away at the line. Oh my goodness.
However, up by 3 at the start of the third, the Pistons had another electric run in their sleeves.
Cunningham fires and nails the 3. Cunningham is in. And it goes out. Jenkins on the fly hits the shot. It's a triple. Thompson's got it. Doing the work on Jared Allen. Clawing his way inside. And then Thompson parachutes in.
Thompson dunks the putback to give his team a 13-point lead. He's been crucial for Detroit's success so far.
Slow to get up the other way. Strus knocked away. Thompson
Are you
erases.
kidding me?
Thompson erases that shot.
My goodness, a two-handed volleyball spike. He's a total freak of nature. Both him and Reid fought really hard last night, especially on this play, and they got rewarded at last.
Robinson out of bounds. Reeled in. Thompson has it. Pistons control. Reid drives hard. Birching. And scoring.
We need to go back to this play.
Holy smokes.
The ball finally falls through the net. With Cade Cunningham shooting only 1 of 9 from the field in the second half, Paul Reed took a nice chunk of the scoring load for the Pistons.
Feel confident that you can get it done.
Look at Reid. Hard to the hole.
And that's the activity that Detroit needs.
Good feed. What a cut. Robinson to Reid.
Reed was huge off the bench again, scoring 17 points on 78% efficiency in just 16 minutes of action. And Detroit had a game-high 14-point lead heading into the final period.
Trying to dance and finds Mobley and knocked away Reid's defense there again. Here comes Sasser, right to the hole. Wow!
Unlike the previous games, this time everyone picked up the slack when Cade was struggling.
Sasser with an incredible plus-minus tonight for the Pistons. Robinson 3. Wow! Here comes Sasser. Merrill in the way. Sets up for the triple. Another big-time hit.
Robinson and Sasser contributed with 23 points combined on a blistering 67% shooting as well. And the Pistons looked to be firmly in control of this game. But remember, they had a 15-point lead in Game 5 at home and managed to blow it. So I wasn't sure they could pull this off yet.
Harden on the move. Knocked away by Jordan, but then slammed in by Mobley.
I think that was a pass, Kevin.
And this is over Harris for 3.
The Beard cuts it to 11, but watch who responds on the other end.
Out to Harris.
Give it to him. He worked hard for it.
Durant into Allen.
Jalen Durant bounced back strongly after the entire sports world blasted him during the playoffs. He posted 15 and 11 on 70% shooting from the field to go along with 3 blocks. And watch James Harden here falling and staying down after he tried to draw the 3-point foul. He took a coffee break mid-action, not knowing that his laziness would only do harm to his team afterwards.
He takes off. Reid will come in.
Oh, he
down.
slipped in James Harden's sweat.
He did, and Harris will go unencumbered the other way.
Man, Dean Wade really slipped on Harden's sweat, which resulted in the easiest points of the night for Tobias Harris. So up by 15 in the middle of the fourth, the Pistons weren't gonna let this one slide away from them.
In the corner, it's a 3. Jenkins! Cams another one!
Yeah, I mean, right now, obviously, still more time on the clock, but if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, as Jenkins, they go on a timeout. Jenkins.
Dennis Jenkins freezes the Cavs on a -21 with back-to-back threes. He scored 13 of his 15 points in the second half, forcing Coach Atkinson to empty the entire bench. With their backs against the wall, the Pistons had their best shooting night of the series, hitting 16 threes on 44% efficiency in this one. And their total team effort earned them another Game 7 back in Detroit. Speaking of that, you gotta check out Game 5's controversial ending if you haven't seen it yet. James Harden clearly broke the rules on his crucial free throws and the refs stayed blind to it. Click right here to see the full breakdown and talk to you in the next one. Peace out.